I got into an argument with him.
Oh, he's a lovely guy, man.
No,
he's the most intellect guy I know from.
وش منيزه؟
والله العظيم.
وش منيزه؟
No, genuinely.
Wait, you got to تقولنا هاد
So
yeah, go and tell us.
a mutual friend.
دخل راسك في شي مشاكل.
Years ago, a mutual friend.
الله يسمح لك.
الله يسمح لي. No, but I was right, but I was wrong. But I wasn't wrong.
Assalamu alaikum everybody and welcome to another episode of Marocafella. And to the right, on the right of the right is Mr. Salah.
Technically, I'm on your left, but it doesn't matter. Hey!
The screen. To my left. And to the left of me, we have a special guest. A friend is very dear to us. A long friend of ours. Long time from the Hauma. Let me introduce him, Mr. Youssef, man.
Oh, yo! Give it up for Mr. Sef.
Marocafella.
How's everybody doing, man?
Yes.
How's everything? How you doing, Youssef?
I'm so good, man.
Yeah.
It's Ramadan and I'm loving it and I can't complain. I'm enjoying every moment of it. And yeah, so I'm happy to be here.
Brilliant, man.
Join you guys.
What about you, Sal? How you getting on?
I don't want to be here, brother, in all honesty, man. I'm tired today. I'm fed up. مناعش مزيان ما فاطرش مزيان
شاعل
going home, man.
خليك شاعل
الحمد لله, everything's good, inshallah. Everyone,
it's like in Morocco in Ramadan, everybody's like, if you upset like that, you're like شاعل سيجارة.
أنا مقطوع.
Yeah, mate. But alhamdulillah, inshallah everyone's Ramadan is going well. I believe by the time this airs, it should be towards the end of it. Like,
inshallah, ya Rabbi.
We'll be having those famous debates
look,
of...
man, we got Shabakia,
hey!
What's and
Shabiki. Cool shit. Oh, there's nothing in there. It's all props.
No,
this is all plastic, bro.
Yeah, really? you got to see the true in a moment. You got to see
my chewing through the plastic, man. Chewing through the plastic. So everyone's doing good. Everyone's doing right with Ramadan.
Can't complain.
Everyone's going to the Jama, doing their tarawih.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we finding it good.
Yeah, man, enjoying
it's been nice. It's been nice.
Brother, listen, I got to say this thing, about tarawih. When you stand a long session of salah and you hear Quran, reciting Quran, it's incredibly, good, man, for the heart.
Soothing,
yeah.
It's amazing, man. I can't. I wish we could do that more outside even Ramadan because the salats, we only salate the salah, the 5 salats that we do.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you hear like 45 minutes to 1 hour of Quran, tajweed, and how it is recited, especially if someone has got
it's
really
good at it,
voice, it's incredible, man. It really touches your heart.
And I think the atmosphere as well, because normally, I think most masajid in the country, in the world, like Ramadan is really, really busy. Then the day after, when it's Eid and boom, Sarat Dhor, the front line's barely filled and empty. So,
do you see Ramadan في المغرب?
No.
I have. Many Ramadans.
Yeah.
Listen, by the way, Ramadan from Maghreb was a great fun because after Iftar, this is what I'm talking like before, social media and a lot of TV channels and all that. We used to go out. People would go out after Iftar.
What, and talk to other people?
No, we go out.
Straight, yeah.
Well, we did. And there was music on the street. People go to parks and they go walking on avenues and wallah, it was good fun until like 2 or 3 in the morning. Then we go to suhoor. Deba nobody moves. I spent time from in Ramadan, lately, and nobody wants to.
التليفون صاحبي تيك توك.
There you go. كل شيء في تيك توك. After Iftar, everybody's dead. Everybody's just so lazy. They don't want to go nowhere.
I remember Wuld Ammi used to send me video clips of I think every Hauma في المغرب كيديروها. Like the football championship.
Yeah.
Like,
but that is before Iftar.
Yeah, before Iftar.
Oh, it's heavy competition.
This is
everywhere,
this is the Ramadan football tournament
competition
that happens in
everywhere.
For our viewers out there in Morocco, for ones that are not Moroccans who don't know. Every Ramadan, all the towns and all the villages in Morocco, they have these tournaments throughout the Ramadan. So some of the pitches that these guys that they're playing on is just it's mad. You know what I'm saying? And there's some battles, bro.
But it's the vibe, though. The vibe's wicked.
And it's serious because you gotta remember they're deciding. It's passionate and it really does go off. It's one of those shouts where the whole crowd runs onto the pitch when the goal gets scored. You understand? Hundreds of people on the pitch. واحد المنظر and how it's wicked, man. You have to be there to kind of experience it.
Every neighborhood is busy. Before 2 hours before iftar, everybody, every neighborhood.
It's big, but and could do, isn't it? Consider for the swear. You know what I'm saying? It's
entertainment as well. Busting joke. Wait, listen. Before we start, there's a very, very question I want to big question I want to ask. Who's pouring the tea?
I am.
Yes, there we go. Volunteer.
Ya Allah, bismillah.
more. أزيد يا صاحبي.
صاحبي انت.
أزيد.
سبعة. أنت يا سيدي.
There you go.
Fill them all. No, what you lot doing? You lot got your own ones over there.
No, we're serving them.
Production team.
I'm drinking macchiato with oat milk.
I think they got their own ones there. I think they got their own ones. They got their own ones. They got their own ones.
Yeah?
Yeah.
أنا شربت كاس زيدة.
Yeah, they got their own ones. They got their own ones.
أنا سيدي Bismillah. You want to be Mr. Pink?
Mr. The Reservoir Club.
Technically, it's not pink. It's
Mr.
like a
purple. Yeah,
pink.
and we are like Mr. Green and yellow.
Mr. صفار.
يا الله بسم
صحت.
I've seen شي واحد صاحبي قال لي
درس لي كاسي وين
a friend told me
They're in
that
whiskey.
here, Moroccan family, they told me him and his brothers, they were saying cheers once, and their dad caught them saying cheers.
What with the
drinking like a
whiskey or
some drink, and he said, "What cheers?" And he beat them all up.
Good. No, I'm joking.
Old school mentality.
We don't condone violence in any shape, form.
So look, man, let's get into it because we want Youssef is a guest stroke friend, brethren, brother. You understand? So we want to get into this. Inshallah, it's going to be really good.
Some halawiyas.
البريوات والشباكية نعم سيدي.
So, Mr. Youssef, I want us to take it from the beginning, from the home that you are from in the Maghreb, and I want you to big up your people on that journey, on the way while we're having this conversation, inshallah.
All right.
So let's get it started. So, where was you born, bro?
Brother T, man, I was born in Rabat.
Rabat.
And it was the only hospital where women give birth in Rabat. And it was by the main police station.
Wow.
Okay, and I grew up in Dior Jama'. Dior Jama' is a famous neighborhood. It's between Losion and Bab el Had and Akkari and Agdal. And it's quite famous neighborhood. They call it Dior Jama' because there's the Ahbas, the old houses. It's like a housing council. And I was born there, raised there, played football, went to school there. And at the age of, when I was like 12, 13, I started touching music.
But before that, so what was it like growing up in the Helma?
It was great. We had
we
mentioned the football. We played football in Helma with like whatever plastic things and playing with the stones with sticks. There was no like toys. We didn't have toys. I remember when my dad bought us a bike to share between me, my brother, and my sister. So he bought a girl's bike, so we could all share it. So it's a girl's bike, but we all.
So how many? So what? You got brothers, you got sisters. So how many of you there
at
in the family?
At the time, it was just 3 of us.
Okay.
We end up being 11.
MashaAllah.
Allah.
11 for obviously my dad and mom divorced and they both got kids from each side. So we were like,
And your parents are still alive, or this?
My dad passed away in December. My mom's still alive and she's still fit woman. She's an Amazighi woman. But my parents both from the south.
Okay.
My dad is from Taroudant, the area of Taroudant, and my mom is Amazighiya, Sousia. She still speaks Berber now when I go with her hang out in shops.
Do you speak Shilha?
Not me. I know few words and I understand a lot in it when people speak.
Yeah.
But she speaks when I go with her to shops. In Morocco, every shop is like Amazigh.
Yeah.
So wherever she goes, like Azulak Ma'adia, and I'm like, wow.
What? Hang on. What?
Well, I only said like 2 words.
I just know. Like go home.
Okay, so growing up, so you got, as you're saying, you got to about 12 years old, and then like you kind of took an interest in music. Then you was gonna say
in the music.
So is that from like secondary school? Like there was the secondary school, and is that where you kind of started?
In the secondary school, I started touching the music, but like at the time, it was a lot of music that is coming from the West. Obviously, like soul music, funk music.
Was that your influence
rock
there?
Music,
okay.
At the time, no, of course. But Moroccan music is in your blood anyway. But you always like look for the Western music. Like as a teenage, you become kind of crossing over with like culture from the West.
Yeah.
So we used to listen to what Bob Marley, James Brown, and also when it comes to rock music like Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Jimi Hendrix. So you have to get to know all these things, and obviously we used to go to parties like as young people.
You said what, for Maghreb,
yeah.
And how old was you when you was getting
house parties?
How old was you then?
I was like maybe 13, 14, you know.
Yeah, Gotta
start young, bruv.
Listen.
Well, they used to do all of that then,
Let me tell you one thing, man. In Tanja, and I'm from Rabat, yeah? In Tanja, we used to go to Tanja, and when we went to Tanja at the time, it was like going to Spain.
Okay.
Because at the time, it was like a lot of Spanish people were.
There, yeah.
And also in Tanja, they used to have clubs that starts from 5 o'clock. So
Blood, that's early, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's a long. But there was a session from 5 to 8 for people our age. You know, 14, 15. You know, that's like June. Yeah, exactly. And it's disco, DJ, and the girls, a lot of Spanish girls, and you know, it was really good fun, man.
¿Qué pasa, amiga?
So it was like,
I went there for the music.
Honestly, for people from Rabat or Casa and like that, you know, for us, it was like being in Spain.
Yeah.
You know, so it was really good, and that was the first influence, like, you know, touching music and the Western music and trying to, and the dance. You know, of course, you have to learn how to dance.
So what kind of style dancing was it? What kind? No, it wasn't break dancing.
Way before the break.
No, before break dance. These men are doing something else, bro.
He was soul train and funk.
Yeah, bro, up rocking and all of that, man. Yeah, style there.
So anyway, we did all that, and later I started learning about playing music. But I can tell you more about that and what caused that, because at the time,
this was all while you was doing full-time studying there. So you're at school full-time.
No, of course, yeah. School is, you know, I was in boarding school in the secondary level, from year. What was the year here? Like year 11?
Yeah.
From then...
That's 14, 15.
Yeah, like before you go to college here.
Mm-hmm.
I did what they call second.
What was it like doing a boarding school for Maghrebi? What was it like?
It was good because I was quite young and there's a lot of people in that school.
Was that private, Moulay Youssef?
No. It was Thanawit Hassan Thani. It's a very famous secondary level in Rabat. And they had a boarding school, so I joined the boarding school. My dad put me there.
So that's it.
Yeah, no, I did, man. And it was good. I had really good friends there, and I had a good experience. I think it's like scouts. So you learn how to be a young man, how to stand the ground, how to, you know. I mean, I think it's a great experience for any young person, especially, you know, boys. Even my sister went to boarding school, but I think it's a good thing, you know, in general.
And you enjoyed it there?
I did.
Are you still in contact with the guys, the friends from Drasa Likunti Mountain?
Not really, no.
No? Okay.
I tell you what, when I grew up, once I bumped into one of them in my own neighborhood, and he came, and I was sitting with some friends that I respect a lot, and he sat with me and he said, "You remember when we were in boarding school what you did to me?" I said, "What? Don't embarrass me." And he said, "You put some pins on a table and you invite me to sit there."
Standard.
And all my friends went like, "What? You did that? That's so bad." I was like, "Oh, no."
Nah, Moroccans got that sense of humor. I'll do it again.
You apologized to him, I take it.
I did. I was so apologetic, man. You can't believe. I was so sorry, man. I'm like, oh,
sounds like it affected him, man. He held on to it.
Absolutely, yeah. But boarding school was great, man. You know, I had a good time, man. Of course, you know, at some points you feel lonely or like, where's my family, whatever.
Yeah, so you missed home, mother.
Yeah, and also that plays in the fact, you know, when you don't want to do your homework, you know, when you want to get away with whatever you should be doing. Yeah. So nobody's watching you, so you just hang out with friends. You know?
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing. I'm not advising anybody or anyone.
And how old was you when you left that then? So when you finished that, did you go to college? Did you go to Europe? Did you get a job?
No, I did carry on staying in secondary school, and before the bac, what they call the bac in Morocco, I joined a hotel school, which 3 years study, and you learn about whatever kitchen work and restaurants.
Hospitality kind of work.
Yeah.
It's called hospitality. And I graduated from that. And once I finished that, I did like a work experience in Hotel Hilton in Rabat, and I did some experience in another kitchen in Hotel Hassan, which is tied up to the school where I was. So at the time, this school was really, really good because when you graduate from it, you can immediately go and work in hospitality hotels, really posh hotels. And at the time, so you got Marrakesh, you got Agadir. That was the time, but, you know, obviously I didn't really go that way, you know. But that was useful when I went to New York, actually.
All right, so just a quick recap. So just to go back, because you mentioned that you kind of started getting into music while you was about 12 years old. So like, obviously now we know you originally did education. So through your education, how was the music being implemented? So you've obviously listening to the funk and the grooves and whatnot. So kind of...
We started, in fact, my grandma, bless his soul, she's passed away. My uncle started hiring the music equipment in Rabat.
Okay.
And he also
and stuff like that.
Exactly, العراسات. So I used to even go to العراسات and play drums for العراسات, or even like be with him
at a young age. Yes, this is battery,
battery on the drums. And initially I started learning the guitar. I wanted to play guitar.
Okay.
But I realized quickly that guitar takes a lot more learning and a lot more lessons to become really good. But drumming was
easy to you.
Was very vocational for me. I just picked it up quickly and I just figured out how to play, and I started learning myself. So it was kind of a self-taught instrument.
So you've been playing music from a young age in a band and everything with your uncle and
we
family.
formed a band when I was young.
What was it called?
It was the first band. We didn't have a name. Actually,
the Rabati Boys.
No, but
I just realized what I said. Wallah, I didn't mean that. I went to say Rabat in English. Wallah.
No, hang on. It's a good joke. You know what?
Wallah, I didn't mean it. It was funny, but it's unintentional.
It was funny because this English dude this English dude that I see always on Goldbone Road, and he said to me, because he knows most people from L'Arish, and he said to me, "You're from Rabat." I said, "Yeah." So he said, "So you're Rabati boy."
Technically, yes, you're not wrong.
No. You're not wrong. Yeah. But anyway, I was saying about
the Rabati Boys.
we had a band, and the band that we used to play just like music, like the Beatles and Queen, like Creedence and Crosby and Nash and
I only know Queen.
Neil Young and like Bob Dylan, like old songs from the rock time, like Santana, some of the songs from Santana. So we used to play this kind of music, and with the hope that we would play in bars and clubs and like make money as musicians playing in these places. But that's how I started learning. And there was a competition when I was playing we had a little band. We played like Beatles and songs like that. And we participated in that competition. Actually, it was on the newspaper. And our picture was the best
local
band in Rabat
celebrities.
And all that. Yeah, man, when you like 15, 16, and you see your picture on the newspaper and they say this was the best band in whatever town. It's
a big deal.
I'm like, what? You know who I am? You know who I am?
And he carries the newspaper all the time. شوفوا page 14 والله.
So that that's
Rabati Boys.
That was it's good to have that success. So it encouraged you. When you have that little step,
little awards along the way.
So
push
I moved forward with that, and played with other bands. I formed other bands in Rabat with other friends, and at some point.
And how old was you at this time now?
Well,
You've been getting to your teens now.
18, 19.
Yeah, so you kind of established about your family equipment,
I was a famous drummer in Rabat.
MashaAllah.
People want me to play with
what was your name in Rabat like as your musician?
Youssef Al-Batteur.
Wow, that's what I'm saying. You see?
But there was a lot of other guys.
Pause.
We had a guy in our neighborhood called Alex. We used to call him Alex. He's much younger than me.
Maghrebi.
اسمه
Alex.
كان نعيطوا له Alex ما أعرف ليش.
Big him up, man. Big him up. Big up Alex, man. Your camera there. Big up Alex.
In fact, he became one of the biggest producers ديال الموسيقى الشعبية في المغرب.
There you go.
Honestly, I mean, this was in the 80s. He was the biggest producer in the 80s of Shabi music.
Okay.
Alex صاحبي تحية Alex.
Alex.
No, he was
traditional Moroccan name.
How did they pronounce it in Maghreb?
Alex.
Alex.
Easy. Yeah. So go on. So now you're just like from jumping from band to band and kind of experimenting with all different sounds and.
It was not easy because at the time in the mid 80s, it was not many places where you could play. So we always wait for Eid al-Arsh to come. So Eid al-Arsh, every band is playing. Every band gets some.
It's an opportunity to kind of go,
Or we play in hotels, and at some points I even had a gig playing in Hotel Hilton in Rabat, in the bar called Piccadilly Bar, and there was a Spanish dude who used to play piano there, only him alone, and he used to come and hang out with us. We had a band, we had a place where we play, we had a studio, drums, everything. We were like kicking. And he used to come and hang out with us. And at some point he said, I want you to play with me in the bar, but we're going to play just like jazz songs and, bossa nova, really kind of what they call
chilled music,
elevator king music, like chill.
And that's like McDonald's toilet music.
So I played with them for a while, but we had to wear suits and ties.
Okay,
Nerds.
Honestly, it was suit and tie. No, it was.
But this is, but
guess what?
This is his journey. Do you get what I'm saying? This is the journey.
But one day I came looking nice, but I came wearing a jumper. You know, is it one of those Benetton jumpers when they first came out with
all the different
colors?
Yeah.
So I came out and it was red. So and the guess who our boss is?
Alex.
As musicians. No, it was the bartender who was our boss.
Okay.
You know, it was not like a manager.
It was
the bartender who was our boss.
Okay.
So anyway, I came and he's like, "You're not wearing a tie." I said, "No, but I look good, you know."
You thought you looked good at the time.
I got fired.
That's discrimination.
You know why that is? Because he did live for us, wasn't it?
So next time, my friends, they called the drummer who came to play and he was wearing 3-piece suit.
Yeah, you see it there. Yeah, come on, bro. He's on point, bro. That sounds like Camarero, isn't it?
That sounds like Alex, bro. Yeah. Only Alex would do that. 3-piece suit.
He beat me, and I'm sitting there watching them play. You know? Like, anyway, so it was an experience.
That's hot, isn't it?
I wasn't excited playing bossa nova and jazzy swingy things, you know. Didn't do
Try
it
to do your own thing, innit?
Yeah, I wanted to kick ass, man.
Too different.
Yeah.
Like, ahead of your time.
So what happened after that then? So what did you end up doing?
Well, after that, actually, this is the time where I was like about to leave. You know, I was trying to think of like going somewhere, like, and I chose to go to America.
Hence why you still kind of got the American accent now, but it's been a
little
long
bit.
time.
You can hear,
you got a little twang in there.
You can hear a little.
But that's
words
that's your signature, and that's who you are. But go on,
when I first came here, it was like much more stronger, you know. Like,
so how did you get to the States, and what made you? What was it? Just made you think? You know what? I'm going to America.
My reason, I mean, I had a job in Morocco. I was working in an office before then. You know, I was working in an office called l'Office National de Transport.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had a job, like, you know, and it was a good job. It was good, decent money. But I didn't have anywhere to expand my talents musically. You know, I knew I could do more. I knew I wanted to be a better drummer and develop my skills, especially drums, because all I wanted to be is like one of the best drummers.
Did you have your own drum kit in that by that time?
I did, yeah. I did.
So that must have been expensive.
I sold. No, it was like maybe about the equivalent £300-400. You know, that is
English money.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money back then, though.
It is, but I mean, if you have a drum kit, you can hire it.
Yeah, you make money from
You know what I mean? You make the backup. Yeah. So that's whoever bought it off me. That's what he did with it. He was just hiring it.
Smart.
But yeah, I mean, I decided to go to America, so I was working, which is a good thing for you to get a visa.
Yeah, it definitely helps. Yeah.
So I, you know, showed that I'm working. I've got a bank account. I've got some money in it, and you know, I just said I wanted to go visit New York and visit America, and they gave me the visa. But I had the visa to Canada before, so I said I'm going to New York, and then I'm going to go to Canada and look at my documents. Everything looks good, and they gave me the visa. So I went to New York, and
New York.
My flight to New York, though, is interesting because my stepdad was in the army, and the Moroccan army has a flight that goes C-130. You know that airplane? It's a military plane.
It's an army plane, yeah.
Look it up, man. C-130, man. That is a parachute plane.
Okay. He jumped out
and he goes from Qanetra. He goes from, what's this? He goes from Qanetra.
Moulay Youssef.
Yeah. I wasn't the only one, by the way.
Man, standing there.
I wasn't the only one. There was like other punters coming on the flight as well.
That's the back of it that goes down from the back. Or
no, listen, we're sitting like parachutes because there's no seats on this. Those kind of like belts like this, you know, like
across the side.
Yeah, on the side.
Yeah.
And there was things in the middle, like
cargo.
But that they were transporting to
ammunition, nuclear bombs, like right.
Yeah.
And where was this from? Where was this flight from?
Qanetra.
All the way to the States.
Base Qanetra, military base. To Delaware State, Dover. Delaware State, Dover. Army base, the American. Yeah. So we landed in an American base.
Hey, man.
And I walked out with my bag from the American base like a G.I. Joe. You know?
That's mad.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
And I went back. When I went back to Morocco.
On a military plane?
I went back on it.
That's insane.
Yeah. It was actually that flight to go to the airport, in or out, or whatever, is much easier than JFK.
Yeah.
Because I did fly to JFK before, after that. And all
that's
that.
really busy. That's like the main one in New York,
yeah. No, there's the Astoria one, which is called LaGuardia.
Yeah.
And there's Newark in New Jersey. Yeah. So and then I went there.
How long was you in New York for?
Just over 3 years, 3 to 4 years, and I started working. I started immediately playing with bands. With
what year was that? Sorry, what year?
It was 1990.
Oh, so this was
June 1990.
So hip hop had already.
Yeah, man, it was big, and I used to play with DJs in a Giant Step. There was this night that was quite popular in New York called Giant Step, but this was maybe 91, 92.
Yeah.
But in 1990, I joined a rock band. At the time, alternative music was quite
hip,
So I joined a rock band, and we, had like photo shoots, and we did a little video. We played on the streets. We played a lot of bars. We played CBGB. If you all know CBGB, it's a quite famous venue where the Beatles themselves played there. A lot of famous people played in this very small venue, but it's.
I think T's performed there once.
Maybe, yeah.
Was it?
There's famous venues. CBGB is no longer a venue. They closed it, but their shop is still open.
That was after T's performance.
There's other places called, like, there's another venue called Continental Divide. There's a band called.
So did you have friends there, Youssef, when you first got there? So you really kind of planned.
Well, I didn't have friends that I knew. I made friends in there.
Right, so I'm saying you America, you've landed in the country.
Yeah.
I have to find a hotel.
Well, my younger brother, brother from my mom's side joined me there after that. But he's not a musician. He was just working in a jewelry store, and he went his own way.
Yeah.
Please, okay.
But as friends, I made friends there. I didn't have any friend that I knew. I had friends that were in different parts of America.
Did you get an apartment? What did you do?
When I first got there, in fact, good thing you mentioned that. A friend of a friend, or someone who's family of a friend. So he accommodated me for a week or so.
Right, that's what I'm saying to you, because
honestly, he helped me to find work. He helped me to find work and to find where to live.
And is this guy still around? Are you still in contact with him?
I think he's still around, but I don't know whether he's still stuck in America, because even the time I was there, he was without pay. He overstayed his visa.
Yeah.
So he's stuck there. I don't know what happened to him, but I do know the friend that put me through to him, who also used to live in Michigan, and I went to visit him in Michigan just to see him as a friend. And now he works in California, actually, this guy.
Okay.
Khalid Shinwi. We call him Khalid Shinwi, but his real name is Khalil Hajji. Okay. He's from Dur Jama'. We grew up together. We did the hotel school together.
Yeah.
We did he was like my brethren, my best friend. We grew up together.
As I said, do shout out if you want.
Yeah, Khalid Hajji. Khalil Hajji, anta brother.
Yeah,
hey, Khalid.
Mashallah, man.
So what was
DJ Khalid?
Another one
from Cali.
So what was it like? Was it a culture shock going from Rabat in like the late 80s?
Yeah.
And then, boom, you're in New York. The hustle and bustle.
You know what it's like? I'm sure if you've been there, you
I haven't. I'd love to.
New York.
Wallahi, listen, it feels like you're in a movie.
Yeah. I got
New
friends.
York.
Yeah.
It feels like you walked into the movie.
Have you been?
set.
I'd like to go.
Well,
Right.
like
It was surreal.
NYPD and all that. It just
surreal.
like feels, what the
The
hell?
smoke coming out of the
When is
the drains.
The
People
Greyhound.
bumping into hey, get the
The Greyhound.
not smoke, the steam.
Is it steam? Yeah.
From the
Because
subway.
my friend Jalera went, Bear Gas went. He was telling me, bruv, it's exactly like the movies.
Yeah.
Like you said,
It is.
the beeping, the cabs, the steam coming out of the thing.
Picture by the steam. I had
The $1 piece is
I had to take the picture by the steam. You know that. And what's it called in the middle? The
Times Square.
Times
Man, the big
Oh,
tower.
the Statue of Liberty.
Not the Statue, the other one, the big one, man. The Chrysler Building.
Oh, the Empire State Building.
Is it Empire? No, is it the Chrysler Building?
Yeah, you got the Chrysler
Empire State
that one,
Building.
Anyway, the iconic one. The iconic one, yeah. So as I said, it's very surreal, bro.
It is. You
Even
feel
the
like-
Mekla, the shops, everything.
It feels like in movies.
Yeah,
It feels
it's all
like in
acting. It's
movies.
like everyone's an actor.
Because my mum used to go to LA, believe it or not. Like I had a cousin. I got.
What's she doing again?
No, I got family. I got family in LA.
Yeah,
And she's been a few times.
that one quiet.
And
Yeah,
she said, nah, Hajj is well travelled, man. But she said, she goes, the biggest thing for her was the portion sizes. Like you'd go to restaurants.
Oh, yeah, everything is big,
the
man.
Portion size.
Everything
is
big,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you use a tissue?
More than New York.
I can see that.
More than
Yeah.
New York.
I think
New York is quite compressed.
Yeah.
LA is very spread.
spread, relaxed, laid out. Everyone's a little bit more chilled out.
Honestly, New York City doesn't look like anything like anywhere else in the States. You leave New York. New York is its own state.
Yeah.
Really, you go to New Jersey, and that's where you see everything is huge, massive.
Yeah, wider roads.
Everything you go to is big. But New York, because it's all based in Manhattan. There's
correct.
Brooklyn, there's Queens, but all those areas they were neglected. And
I was in Lexington Avenue, so that was like, I think that's
that's Manhattan.
That's where
upper
so
Manhattan.
the rich, you know,
Yeah, that was upper
you know how
Manhattan.
expensive that place is.
Yeah, that's where man was.
Crazy,
bro.
man.
Not gonna lie.
That's Din KBL Matasha on the side of the road. That's the road, isn't it? Yeah.
Hey, brother, you see how I ended. Anyway, that's another story. But
New York.
look, go back and get back to Youssef, okay? Because it's not about us.
So you're in New York.
New York City.
You're loving it.
The thing that playing with bands in New York at the time, there was not much money really. We used to make money. I used to work in restaurants. I started off as a busboy. Actually, I worked the first time I worked in a Moroccan Jewish restaurant.
Yeah.
And they were Moroccans. They looked like me. They didn't look like the Ashkenaz,
Eastern
from Poland,
Europeans.
whatever.
Yeah.
They looked like me, and they spoke Moroccan like me. They cooked food, Moroccan food. It was like harira, but the really good food. Harira, za'louk, shakshuka.
اللحم البرقوق.
لحم برقوق, tagine,
Come on, that's the
everything.
best
والله.
dish.
But
تحية
they
اللحم
used to make
البرقوق.
really good food.
Yeah.
And it used to be a place. There were a lot of Jews from Morocco. They would come in the weekend and have like whether it's ars. Even a band, Moroccan band, came from Montreal to play there on one of the events.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the guitarist in the band was in a band that I played with in Rabat.
Small world.
Wallah, I was in the kitchen working. I looked at this band. I'm like, yeah, Moroccan band. I'm like, what the hell is that guy doing? What? Like, yo, man.
بالعربي.
Antonio.
عربي ايش قدر انا يا صاحبي.
هو قلت له المحمد ولا العربي ويقول لي لا لا أنطونيو.
Alex.
I remember there was one Algerian brother years ago in Camden. He
كلهم هذوك أنطونيو.
listen, his name's Milord, isn't it? I know him as Milodi. Anyway, so me, him, and his friend, so he's gone, and the guy was English, some Biad guy, and he goes to me, how long have you known Marcel for? I went, who? He went, Marcel. I was like, yeah, I've known him for a few years. I was like, when he come back, I was like, what's happening, Marcel? He's looking at me like,
Algerian brothers love doing that one. Algerian brothers love doing that one.
it's unbelievable, bruv.
Yeah, no. Well,
Anyway.
come on, Youssef.
So working in that place for a few weeks, but the time my mom visited us, and when she wanted to go back, I had to take her to the airport. And the airport was the military base in Dover. I asked the boss, can I go tonight to take my... And he didn't want to. He said, if you go,
There's a
don't
Jash.
come back here. So that's how I stopped working there, and I moved. I started playing with bands in other places. And immediately I started working in restaurants as a busboy. Then from there, I moved to be a waiter. And that was good time because you make good tips in New York. I mean, there was some nights. At the time, I made like $150, $200 in tips.
That's not bad.
Very short shift, 4 or 5 hour shifts.
Oh, what, in a shift?
In a shift,
Bruv,
yeah.
that's banging, man.
Yeah. But there was no wages. The wages at the time was like $30 for shifts.
Yeah.
So you relied on your tip.
Oh, yeah, no.
Tips.
I think most Americans do, yeah.
If you don't tip in New York, they'll kill you.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta leave a tip, man. Hey.
I believe in giving tips anyway.
They would shoot you. They would shoot you. They would take you to the door, insulting you. You're cheap. This. You're this. And that's.
صح though, man. Just giving you a service, and then it's always good to tip
man.
anyway, man.
It's a top sale from there to there, and you want me to give you £1 million?
Doesn't matter, man. It's khidma jero, bro.
And I've got to say that the tips there is shared between everyone in.
Yeah. So it's not you tip one person and he keeps it. It's like, right, they put it in a jar, then they sell it.
everyone.
But that's kind of unfair. What if one person's a superstar, another one's not, and you're getting equal? It doesn't make...
So from there, working, making some money so I could pay my rent, I can pay, look up and buy clothes, going out and all that, buy a little bag of weed and things like that,
As you do.
But at some points,
Allegedly.
the music was not making money, man. It was not making money. It's like we recorded demos, we've done quite a lot, but still no money. We play gigs, we can play gigs anytime we want, but there was no money. So that was kind of like it was not on my mind, the money thing. It was not on your mind. You just want to be successful in the music. But I had the chance to develop my drumming skills. We had a studio, and I became far better drummer in New York. Also meeting a lot of drummers. And speaking of New York, I met someone who's really dear to me, a very good friend called Hassan Hakmoun. And he's a Gnawi. He's one of the most famous Gnawa players ever. And this guy met Miles Davis. He met a lot of famous people. Billy Cobham, who's one of the top drummers in the world. He done a song with Peter Gabriel. He was like, this guy he played in the Woodstock in '94 in Central Park. And on the side of the stage, who was watching him? Peter Gabriel and Santana.
Wow. See, I know Santana. I don't know who the other guy is.
Hassan Hakmoun, he had the privilege to play with a lot of top musicians, and he was very impressive. He still is, man. I mean, if you listen to Hassan Hakmoun's video on YouTube, you know, he's got an amazing voice, and he's got amazing aura as well. And we were good friends in New York, and he blew me away, actually, because he used to play some incredible fusion with some top musicians in New York. And that gave me a lot of inspiration, actually, which bring me to the music that I've made later, you know. Yeah, there you go. Oh, you got this show.
So
this
we
show,
can bring it up on the screen. For
oh,
you
this
guys.
show, man.
So
this show, yeah.
Just give us a minute. Get it up on the screen. There you go.
This show actually has such a cool that my both of them played on the show.
Which one? So this guys played together, yeah? So explain to them that instrument that he played. This is called real to the viewers at home what that is.
Kimbri or Sitir or
And this brother still around now?
Yeah. Rakshi. And he's magic. He was in Morocco. He was in
Is he still in the States? I like the high top. Yeah, man.
You know this is bringing Morocco music to the front. Yeah, sure. Yes, you so get back to it. So he was in New York and
Hassan Hakmoun.
Hassan, yeah.
This guy, man, as a Gnawi, coming from Marrakesh, I met him in New York, but he was there before me. He was incredible because when I met him and I saw him playing with some top musicians, in fact, one of them ended up writing one of the biggest songs for Santana. You know, for me, it was like a cutting edge kind of style. Gnawa music with, and New York City has this network called the Rock Fusion Institution or organization. And it's got the best musicians in town, in the country probably, that play rock music. Rock music is like, you're talking about like the best players in the world that play in that kind of network. So he had musicians that come and play with him. And what you saw in that video with him playing, there was two guys, and they were really part of this network. But anyway, well, the point I'm making, he was like approached by the best musicians. I mean, it's impressive. And for a Gnawi guy, not to know the caliber of these musicians, because one night he took me to the Blue Notes. Blue Note is the most privileged jazz venue
like a prestigious,
in the world,
prestige
okay?
place,
In New York
for
City.
musicians, that much.
And he told me, I'm going to this place to see this guy playing.
Yeah,
little building.
No, this friend, he invited me to come and see, and I didn't know whether he's going to Blue Note. So I went to turn up a Blue Note. I'm like, what? You know, I see the picture, the poster. Who's playing? Billy Cobham. If you look at who Billy Cobham is one of the best drummers ever existed. Yeah. And we go see him in his backstage, in his room, private room. And you know, he's almost kissed Hassan Hakmoun's hand. Because Hassan, for these people, African Americans, for Hassan to come from Morocco with that music, he blew their minds. And these guys, they come from
because it's like straight, and it's only like three strings on it or something.
Yeah,
on that
honestly,
bass thing.
a lot of musicians, top musicians, when they hear that music, it blows them away.
You got a video of him?
Yeah,
Let's see if we can get a video.
Yeah, you can see Hassan Hakmoun in Woodstock.
One second.
That's it. That's the Woodstock one.
We're going to get it up on the screen. There we go.
Yeah.
So mashallah, brothers.
That is in Woodstock, yeah. And those guys are playing with him. That's his brother who's jumping. Allah yarhamum skin.
Ads, yeah.
Yeah, of course. That is Woodstock. That's why it's...
But yeah, anyway, nice one for that, guys.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to mention, because big up to Hassan Hakmoun. I'm bigging you up, my brother, man.
Tahiyya, Hassan.
And you have a history, you have a lot of contribution to Moroccan music and its development in the world, man. So yeah.
We'll have him on soon as well. We'll fly him
And he's
over
still-
on a
he's
military
still-
jet.
You know, he started. He's like the first festival, the Aswera, by the way. Again, I see him in Marrakesh and I'm recording my first song. And he said to Aswera. So I go with him, and it was the first festival in Aswera. It's on YouTube as well. The very first festival, and I'm playing with him on the drums.
Can you get that? Can you get that one there?
That is actually on my page as well, but you can find it. You can find this on YouTube as well. Yeah.
Aswera.
Just put Aswera Festival, the first one.
First festival, the Aswera. I think it's on my page as well, but I don't know if you want to go through my page to see it. Anyway, so we could keep talking about, at the end of the day, this guy, his contribution to where the Gnawa music in the world, or making it famous, world famous in the world. Not only him, there was a band in Tanja called Al-Muallim Abdullah Al-Gurd. He's quite famous, and he's the first one who did fusion with musicians from the West. And the musician is Randy Weston. He's passed away now, but he's one of the top jazz musicians. This first fusion happened between them in 1967 in Tanja.
Wow. Back
So
in
that's-
the day, man.
Back in the days, this
Yeah.
is before Jimi Hendrix went to Essaouira, which was 69.
Tarek's was 17 then, isn't it?
Yeah, you were born in 17.
I was there.
He was
Yeah,
there. He
you
was
were there.
17 years
You were
old.
there. You were like hovering in,
Dancing.
in the
I
juice.
was
You were
the go dancer.
That's how you dance, bro. I'm only,
Bloody hell.
only mirroring.
So yeah, I mean, speaking of Gnawa music and the impact that he had on a lot of world musicians from all over is incredible. So even today, still, even in the school, Berkeley School in California, famous music school, now he's got big collaboration with the Gnawa Festival in Essaouira, and they want to write the scores of Gnawa music. You know, the scores of like every song that Gnawa play.
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah, that's one of the projects they want to do, and there's a lot of other projects going on and happened, and they will happen again. So that's my
That was your time in New York.
respect to Gnawa music and the impact that he had on me. And at the time, I didn't know how to, I was just playing drums. I didn't know how to run a mic to the mixer. I had no knowledge of that. So until I met, through Hassan Hakmoun, I met my ex-wife, the woman I married. Not to mention her name, but she's from Durham, the north, and we married in New York. And she used to write work for a WOMAD festival and Real World. So she used to write music, and that's how we met. And we got, we're just boyfriend, girlfriend. And at some point she said she wants to come back to England, to live. She didn't really want to live in New York because she wasn't doing her job. She was working in shops or whatever. And so I decided to move with her to England. So that's why I came here, and I said to her, let's.
And what, you moved straight to Durham?
Durham or you go
We visited Durham, but I told her I ain't living in Durham.
Why not, man?
I live
Durham's
in
alright.
London. No.
Durham's alright.
So you just moved
We
straight.
came to London.
Nishan.
And what was it like? Was it quite a lot of similarity between London and New York, do you think?
What? Durham?
No. London and New York.
No way. No.
London's better.
No.
London's so much better than
No,
New
my
York.
friend. No, my friend.
Nah, New York's all myths. Wallah, I think it's just all
Well, at the time, it was a great place to be. Now it's so cleaned up and
Gentrified and,
it's like camera everywhere. At the time, it was really good fun, man. I really had a great time in New York, and I wouldn't do that now in New York.
Yeah.
Because I've been to last time I was there was 2017, I think. And
Completely changed.
I don't enjoy it as much as I did at the time, it's different.
But is that you because you're more mature there, bro? Do you think?
No, it's just not, it didn't have the spirit. I mean, it was, when it was dangerous, it was good fun.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Maghrebi, where's the drama?
Even the police now, even NYPD, they're so soft. They have like all kind of police officers. They're very soft.
Because they've been very naughty out there.
I think they do their nails. They have a pedicure included.
They've been busting man up and shooting people out there. That's why they've had to.
Well, sure they do. Yeah,
it's kind of what you want police to do.
Let's not divert. So now you've come from New York. Yeah, now you're
London.
Yeah, and you've moved straight. What part of London did you come? Did you come straight to West London, or did you?
When I came here with my ex, we lived at some friend's house, friends of hers, obviously, and they were squatting in Harley Streets, believe it or not.
In
Harley Street.
Streets, yeah.
Multi-million pound house.
And for me, I thought that's where I'm gonna live. Like that's the area.
Harley Street.
This is better.
I landed on my feet.
Better than Astoria. Better than
rent-free.
You know, and I'm like,
anyway,
the land of milk and honey.
We stayed with them for like 2 weeks or so. Then we moved to a shared place, obviously, me and her, in Shepherd's
Another
Bush.
squat.
No. This was we paid. We paid
board.
monthly. Yeah, we paid in this guy. We lived with him. He's the landlord, and we lived with him. There was another guy living there, but anyway. So we lived there for maybe 6 months, and then I started meeting musicians. I started going to jam sessions. There was one jam session here in Iceni, in Mayfair, and getting for free. There was another one in Camden by Camden Dock. And there was one in Great Portland Street. These are all jam sessions that I used to go to and be part of every weekend, basically.
And
Friday.
have you met any Moroccans by this time? Or you still haven't encountered any Moroccans?
Not yet, but I met the Moroccans here in the area. From Shepherd's Bush to
That's what I'm saying. So you met.
I used to walk around, and people would sometimes they would see that you're Moroccan, you look like Moroccan, and you see that you know.
Because the way you dress is not the way that how we.
No.
You understand?
Forget the way you dress. I dressed like Puerto Rican, like Mexican.
Yeah. So
baggy jeans.
This guy that come from America. Do you understand?
Your jacket is like baggy, but you only tie up the top one.
My first encounter of Youssef was like that. You could say this guy was come from the States. He's got this American accent. You understand? Cool dude, you know what I'm saying?
Same here. When I first met him, I was like, Salaam alaikum. Wa alaikum salam, I say. Calm down.
It was just nice to see. It was different for us to have something like that.
I think it was like a 97 meeting.
Yeah, that was the fashion of the era, man. Like the hip hoppy, baggy stuff.
Yeah.
Like you look back and laugh now, but
it's all back again, bro.
Yeah, it's back because it was the tight stuff.
And at the time, I joined when I first came in. I actually joined a band that was based in Brighton. They called Pan or Pandemonia. And they were signed. They were signed to a label called Talking Loud at the time, and it was quite a hip label.
Okay, I remember that.
And there's a night in the what is that night in the club in Shaftesbury Avenue, the Brazilian kind of. Anyway, so we used to play. We played the old Astoria. You know, there was a venue called Astoria, which is no longer there.
In the West End, yeah?
Yeah, the West End.
Yeah.
And we played what is that club? Like anyway, so we played some places here. We played in Brighton at the Concord. We played in. We went touring in Ireland, and it was really good music. I mean, I've discovered a lot of. I mean,
what kind of genre of music was you playing?
I have to say, because when I came here, man, I've discovered really good music, and a taste of mixing with sounds and playing with like dub and the effects, how they apply effects and how they jump from one style to the other, from reggae to house and dub. And I mean, these guys, honestly, the music was far ahead in Britain compared to America.
Told you,
America was eaten up by hip hop or rock music. That's it. And hip hop was struggling because always hip hop is kind of like the main dominant music. Even today, you go to New York, all you're gonna hear is John Bon Jovi, or the classics that they have, Bruce Springsteen, and it's the same playlist all the time in America. But in Britain, when I came here, I joined this band, and they were like really good. There was another band that we used to go on tour with called Delata, and they were like Brazilian fusion. And then I went to WOMAD Festival. I actually went to WOMAD Festival in New York when they first came to New York, when I met my ex. And here I played Glastonbury with this band. Glastonbury Jazz Stage. And the first time I got to crazy bloody festival, man, I was like, what the hell is
Glastonbury
this?
is a big deal, bro.
And this was 1994 Glastonbury. 94, the summer 94. Okay. So it was quite impressive for me to be there.
That's a big stage, bro.
And what's his name? Ronnie Size was there. I met Ronnie Size there. Jamiroquai. There was like all these bands. They were like, I didn't know much about them, but quickly after that, I knew who they were.
Yeah.
There's Top of the Pops. There's music is different here than in America. Big difference.
Yeah.
But the what I would say, how it is developed and advanced, how people talented here, the talents of British music is far ahead of any music I've seen, really. And I know what's going on in France, for instance, or in other parts of Europe. But in Britain, he has a cutting edge talent in creating things, and the reason for that, you have to realize the cultures that exist here.
Yeah, big mix. Yeah.
Caribbean and the North African and African, and the Latin, all that, and also the British mind is open to a lot of things.
Do that, yeah.
You have to
do the mix.
Yeah, of course, it's not like other countries where they have a little bit of racist, side to that, so they don't want to open the door to a lot of different cultures in their country. So in here, you find that very, very open. And also you have to realize in Europe also, like in France, they were forced to open the door to North African arts, like rhyme music and Shab Khalid and all. They explode. You don't have to give me a festival, but people, the North Africans, they will pay for festivals to go and see there.
Yeah.
To see Khaled or Mali or whatever.
One of the biggest things that I saw, not live, but I remember seeing it on TV ages ago, was that, was it Le Trois Soleils concert?
Le Trois Soleils, yeah.
Shab Khalid,
Rashid Taha and
Fodel.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah.
Like, I knew who Shab Khalid was. I didn't really know the other two, because I remember songs like Did and
Rashid Taha is one of the biggest guys. He's a good friend of mine, and he's huge, Rashid Taha. In fact, he
passed away, innit?
He passed away, Allah yarhamhu.
You know, I nearly got into an argument. I got into an argument with him.
Oh, he's a lovely guy, man.
No,
he's the most intellect guy I know from.
وش من نيزك؟
والله العظيم.
وش من نيزك؟
No, genuinely.
Wait, you got to قلنا هاد
So
go and tell us.
A mutual friend.
دخل راسك في شي مشاكل.
Years ago, a mutual friend.
الله يسمح لي.
No, but I was right, but I was wrong. But I wasn't wrong. So a mutual friend of ours, Hassan Hajjaj, there was a party at Momo's, that Algerian guy.
And he was there, Rashid.
He was there.
He was a star,
I've still him in everyone. I've gone to Sillam to him, and he's giving me his left hand. So I moved my hand back.
Did you?
And I was like, I gave my hand again for him to Sillam, and he gave me his left hand, and I moved it. I'm like, why are you giving me? I felt this was, don't give me your left hand, bruv.
Yeah.
You're North African,
I think
you're
going to be sorry in a minute.
No. So anyway, I started thingy bob.
Yeah.
I got pulled away. Rashid, no, he's come up to me and he was like, man, look, I was like, la, you just teenage, blah, blah, blah. Skin, he's got
exactly.
He's got a little hand.
Like that.
And I didn't know that.
He had polio.
Yeah. Was it polio? Yeah, because you know, like Jeremy Beadle.
Yeah.
So when I was Silliman, he's giving me his other hand, but I'm not looking.
I'm sure that gave you a good lesson.
No, we started busting joke. No, but I was right.
You know, like next time that happens, you gotta think of like.
I will treat everyone equally. If I feel you disrespecting me, I will let you know.
No.
But as soon as he told me, and
because you didn't know,
he was like, he was like, wallah. He goes,
he's a great guy.
No. We was cool. Yeah, but that's. I met this guy.
That happens. Usually happens like with people, and you.
I was young as well. I was about like.
But you assume that he's okay. But some people can have some impairment.
Oh yeah. You know, but it wasn't obvious. Yeah. It wasn't obvious.
It's like someone blind and he's looking at you in the eye. And it's like, what is it?
I'm not laughing at that, but I know what you mean.
Why are you looking at me? You know what I mean? So you have to.
You're a troublemaker.
He started it. So I'm joking. Nah, like I'm scared. No, but he was cool.
Scared. He's dead. You had a good reason.
No, but I didn't know. But like I said, it wasn't something.
Anyway, let's go back to the concert, the conversation. Yalla,
we're gonna come back to that gig. Anyway, so I've been through this band, and at some point they were actually splitting up this band that I joined. So so they didn't stay with them. We've done a few tours, Ireland and here in the UK. And then they went different ways, but some of them really, really talented.
But you're earning a living doing this.
No,
not yet. So you're working.
I got paid with this band playing around, but jam sessions you don't get paid because
you just jump.
Because you want to meet people there.
It's like going to play football, isn't it?
It's networking. It's networking.
Well, in fact,
your skills,
from those jam sessions, I met musicians that had their home studios. So I used to go with them to their home studios, and I started learning about production
equipment,
and also building their beats, like programming beats for them, or joining them, playing with them live in drums, playing drums with them in their live bands. So this is how I approached the music. And at some points I realized I had to learn about music production. I had to learn about, it was obvious because in this country, most musicians have some recording gear. It could be just a 4-track cassette. You remember the old days? They had a cassette with 4-track.
Yeah.
So from Shepherd's Bush we moved to Chip and Amuse, and this
local.
This 3-story house, and they had a double garage down in the ground floor, and I built the studio in the corner, in the corner. I put partition walls, and I built a studio right there. Put my drum kit, and everything started to happen from there. I joined. You remember Mark Feathers? Mark Feathers, yeah. What's his name? Mu'taz knows him because he had his record. Mu'taz is on the picture.
Okay.
Yeah. Mark Feathers is a local from Portobello and Ladbroke Grove. He's a half Caribbean, whatever. So he used to play rock music, and he asked me to join his band. So I joined his band, and he was like a really talented guy, but he's fucked up in the head. Sorry, my language, you know. So anyway, we joined his band. And
we'll bleep that out,
with the bass player called Mitch. Mitch still around. I think he's got some mental issues now. Anyway, so we had this band, this really good rock band, and I saw potential there. But this guy was so messed up in his head. He was not in focus on what he's doing. He did not realize this talent. So, yeah, soon after that, I split up with them. But I carried on learning music and how to make my stuff. And at some points, I started recording on the 4-track cassette. And I recorded with some guy called Mikey and some girl called Claudia from Mexico. And we done this kind of Spanishy English R&B tune. And then later I've done another tune with some, it's just like from the cassette. And I just said, let's do a song with like Arabic influence. And my first song was, which is in my first album, and I think it's the second track on the first album called Alesh Kwona. And I think at the moment there's no video to it, but that song is the first one I've started on the 4-track, which I gave to a small label. And it was just one chorus, one verse, and the second chorus, and that was it. I didn't have nothing. And it was just on a cassette, and the guy loved it, and he said, come on, man, let's finish this track and let's see how, we can put it out.
Fair enough.
So I've invited some black dude to do his verse, like in English.
Yeah.
So his second verse was exactly more or less what I said about being an immigrant and from Africa, whatever, in this country. And so he a really good guy, man. He called his MC name is Black Tip. And he's wicked. He's a really good guy. He works with the youth now, but he's an incredibly talented guy. And that's how I done the first song that ended up on my first album, Halalwood.
Okay. Oh, was it track number 3? You said
number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah. Alash Kwona. Kwona arrawna shwona umakhla lagwan das
never seen. I know it. I remember it. Because the guy that's rapping sounds like me.
Yeah.
So people would hear it and be like, bruv, is that you?
Really?
I'm like, well, yeah, if you listen.
Black Tip.
Listen to the voice.
Yeah.
And listen to it, my voice. Because even I heard it, I'm like, that's.
The other album. The other one. This one. No, the other one. That one. Second track. Let's go now. Alash. That's the one. But run it a little bit in the middle because I think it's quite a long intro. We might be sleeping by the time the chorus.
My beard would have went back to black. The greys were like, I've had enough.
But yeah, I mean, it was good fun. It was really, really good fun.
The old days.
And I was quite impressed because I didn't think people would like it. I was, when you do something in Arabic.
So this is when you built that studio, you was able to start doing some work and putting things
the
down.
studio, it was actually for playing live. And
so we can't teach Black Tip, tell him.
This guy. This is the guy, listen.
To take you through the elders. We got wisdom in the session. This war a soldier, no. They're not the still forward information. Especially your liberation library. So we the lie and feel sweet like cherries, but they pick your brain and kill you with your wounds sustain. Say if there's no voice for me to stand and speak, then the strong side.
No, I remember this. I used to love this.
I used to love it. They write and kill for the words that they recipher is your tool to maintain your rule. All you fools can't just simply see the rule.
I reckon I'll beat in a rap battle. Call it, what's the name? Black Tip. I'm calling you out for a battle. Actual freestyle from the dome if you're on it. Call him, I'm gonna battle him.
The reality on the street is you wanna kill the black child.
Now, come on, we can't listen to the whole thing. Oh yeah, chorus is coming up now. Is it a Gnawa song, isn't it? شاورما chili sauce salad and zaitan. Yeah, I like your mosaic as well, mosaic design on the old face.
Oh, that is a wicked design.
That was very clever, yeah.
If you look at the full cover, it's like a mural.
Yeah.
But the bottom is like you can see the bricks of the wall.
Very vain of you to put your face on the front cover.
You know, there's a record by this guy.
I think so.
This guy called Manu Dibango. He's a saxophone. Yeah, you know him? You know his album. He's standing like the map of Africa. You know the album? The same guy designed that album. Who took that picture? He's the one who designed my album.
Easy.
Called Sebastian, French dude.
So you just tell me, what was the inspiration for all of this kind of music and to try and mix it and kind of get the fusion in with the, what was your kind of your reasoning behind it? Because
honestly, I mean, I've got to admit that I appreciate and I respect a lot of people that approached Moroccan music and did some fusion of some sorts, like whether it's Led Zeppelin or Rolling Stones or Jimi Hendrix.
Did they? I don't even know.
Yeah, they did.
I never listened to
Led Zeppelin playing with Gnawa in Marrakesh.
Oh, is it?
Square. Yeah. The Rolling Stones did an album with Jajuka from Jbilo, from Ashab.
that was recent as well, wasn't it?
Well,
I swear there was something from the
Jajuka is old, man.
No, there was something in the last 20 or 30 years where the Rolling Stones were in Maghrebi with some.
That's not really recent, bro.
Yeah, but in like the 70s and now I'm talking about like in the last 20 years. But it was a band from England. One of the bands we used to have back in the days.
Well, Rolling Stones are from England.
But Madrid Helma. There was a band, Qadr and them lot. They used to be the old school band, man. He drives a cabbie now, man. They managed to be the originals, man.
Are you talking about Sofiq Siddiqui?
No, I don't think it was. No, it wasn't. But anyway, more him. He did anyway. So anyway, just carry on.
The point is like because growing up and being a musician, and you come across the music that Led Zeppelin did with Gnawa, and you're like, wow, that's and others, Then we heard about Randy Weston with Abdullah Al-Ghurd from Tanja, Gnawa fusion with the jazz. So regardless what the concept was or the results of that music is, there was potential in fusion of Moroccan music in the Western music. And there was obviously an interest of the West towards the Moroccan music.
Yeah.
So that for me, that hit me from the early days. And, that's why I decided to do production of that concept, but from my angle, from a Moroccan angle, from a North African citizen who grew up eating up the music, from Morocco and North Africa. And also, we are very open-minded as Moroccan people. We love African music. We love Latino. We love, we love the Western music as well. We like, our culture is very open to a lot of cultures.
Yeah.
And it's a gate to Africa, a gate to Europe. It's a very well melted pot. If Moroccans don't know that, they should know. Way before there was the Romans in Al-Arish, there's Luxus, Al-Arish called Luxus. There was it's a well mixed. There's Amazigh culture, there's African culture, and there's also Arab that came from the Middle East, from Hijaz, from Saudi, from Yemen.
Now Morocco is very diverse.
The Spanish, the French, there's a huge melting pot, really.
Bloody French.
Je
déteste.
J'adore tout le monde.
No.
Anyway, so the fusion is the element. So I figured, like what we heard just now. That's how we started.
And that was the first album.
Yeah. Well, this song is in the first album.
Song. Yeah.
But that was not put out as a 12-inch or a single, But that was the opening for doing the first 12-inch, which was I think it's the third track called Tagazout.
Mr. Producer. In the other album, Halalwood, Halalium.
Was that the second one?
The Mosaic one. The Mosaic Wall. Yeah, so Tagazout is like it's kind of drum and bass kind of jungle at the time. The inspiration of being in London and hearing drum and bass was very, very opening the mind opener for me at the time.
And it was a big scene back in the
huge,
day. I remember
it was jungle. It was like it was just samples taken from the James Brown. That's the one. And I mix it with. I call it Tarazout. These are Tarazout women singing ahwash, ahwash is the bands, Berber bands, playing and singing music together. Like you see, like
that's where the women are all standing
40
lined
women
up.
standing and singing, and the guys playing drums or whatever. But you're hearing this. It's very jazzy, very.
What are they saying?
I don't know what they're saying, but I love it. I record their voices. It's like they're from the region of Tarazout, further south, in the region of Agadir. So that's a good race for me. I had a great friend playing bass on it. Really amazing bass line. It's kind of Arabic. And this guy is called Kabasa. He's from New York City. And he was my best friend at the time. And this bass line that he's playing, we used to play at the time when I was in New York. We used to jam with it. And it ended up being on this song. Also, he used it, obviously, it's his bass line. He used it. Later, after I came back to New York, I found him with his studio and band, and he's an incredible musician. But you can be an incredible musician, but not necessarily will be successful in releasing anything. I've met in the music business. I've met so many people that have made so many things in the music for themselves and store it, shelf it, whatever, but they never managed to release anything to the public. And that is a big step, and it's really important for anybody who makes any kind of arts, because the point is, because most artists, they're very shy about what they do, and they fear that people will steal their idea or they criticize what they do. But at the end of the day, whatever you do and create, it is meant to be seen by people. There's no point keeping it for yourself and say, oh no, I'm not going to release it yet. I don't really want it.
You get a lot of the youngsters doing that now. They've got like 30, 40 tracks. Yeah,
everybody. That's even for me. It was like it's like no. I don't want people to judge you. I don't want to show nobody. You're going to steal. No, I'm embarrassed. They're going to criticize me. But no, you shouldn't be. You have to be forward and trust yourself and just get on with it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Do something else. Move on to the next project. Bless you, Habibi. Yeah, so the first 12-inch was done. That was it, and with different remixes as well on the dub plates, vinyl 33.
Dub plates.
Yeah, and we send it to. At the time, you can send to a lot of DJs, and they give you feedback. You send the form with it, and they tell you how good 5-star.
And people used to take the time to send that back as well.
Well, not me. There was a label. Now there's a label involved, and the label is called Apartment 22 at the time. And it started by this guy and created by this guy called Andy Morgan, who's a really great guy. He used to work with WOMAD and Real World with Peter Gabriel and all that. And he knows quite a lot about world music, and he's a very good writer, journalist. He still is in the same field. He still works. Big up, Andy Morgan. Big shout to you,
Big
man.
up, Andy.
What's happening, Andy?
So, he's the one who put my stuff out first. The first 12-inch. The second one, which was a hip-hop tune. The guys that you saw in Kaza with me, the rappers?
Raf and...
No, مش Raf. Naeem and Abdel Ghani, the two Moroccan guys.
Well, no, because we don't want to go into that, because we want to come into that.
Yeah, we'll come to that. But that was the second 12-inch. And then we started working on the rest of the album.
Okay, and how long did it take you to finish the whole album?
It took me about... you have to realize that because it's all different stuff. One song is different than the other, so it's not just hip-hop theme in one album or R&B or drum and bass.
The fusion, you're just on a mixer.
There's reggae, there's drum and bass, there's jazz, there's all this kind of, Melhoun. There's a song called Ghazal Fatma, which is غنية ديال Ghazal Fatma, which is a famous Melhoun song, and I done it like a drum and bass style. So like a jungle at the time. We didn't call it drum and bass. We called it jungle.
Jungle, yeah.
So it was like and we played that live actually. We played that live in Casablanca. Very few times I played that live in Casablanca and Essaouira.
And the reception was good.
So, and that's how we compiled the rest of the album. And meantime, when I was in Morocco, I recorded some Gnawa stuff. I recorded some reggae stuff. Like I wanted to diversify my styles in the album. And when we compiled it together, you know, at the time there was nobody releasing an album with one reggae, one drum and bass, one hip hop, one sha'bi, one Gnawi, one. You can't find a record like that has this kind of mix. People they usually approach with one style, an album, whether it's a rock album or R&B. So yeah, and once we put it all together, we went off and listening to it. Me and Andy Morgan and I don't know who else was listening. But we just had to feel the feel.
So didn't Reggae Rai was very similar to that.
It was, but you know, I didn't want to approach Rai music, and
because you got two things, innit? That reggae and Rai, they did mix it up, innit?
Yeah,
it was huge. Big, innit?
But I did the reggae I did in the album was.
Sorry, just to say,
no, you're right.
For me, that was the first
kind of
fusion. I'm trying to shoot you down, bruv.
No, I'm just.
I'm trying to guess like that, bruv.
No, I'm stating facts, okay?
Reggae Rai wasn't all that.
Honestly, the reason why I didn't want to approach Rai music. I didn't want to. It's not that I don't like it, because at the time, it was becoming more commercial.
Too cliche, innit?
Yeah, it was becoming cliche as well. So, and house music as well. Talking about Western music, I did not want to touch house music at all. You know, because it was too cliche.
You wanted to be different, okay?
Yeah. So that's exactly my approach, and I wanted to have a very different album. That people listen to it, you listen to it from the start to the end, and you go like, "Wow, this is fresh, man." And still today, if you listen to Halalwood, my first album, it's still kicking.
It's still relevant, yeah, still relevant. It's still lucky because.
What year was that? When did it come out?
It was 99.
99.
And the reason why it's called Halalwood, you have to realize that
the millennium,
it was the millennium.
Yeah.
And the music is,
very clever with words.
Halal, everywhere. Our prints, our fingerprints, or basma, if you go to basma.
Yeah.
It's halal. Well, you know.
So when did you do this album? So you got this album number 2.
Well, that was like way after the, you know, like.
So how many did you do after? So after the one which is when
after that one, this is the only one I've made. After
and this one was called.
And it's called Halalwood. Turn it around. Halalwood.
Halal.
This is called Halalwood.
العود ولا لوح.
Halalwood, yeah, wood, yeah.
So tell us about this album then. Like, what was the inspiration? What was the thought behind it?
This was the reason why I called it Halalwood, because by then, after my first album, I started meeting people that way more famous than me.
Yeah.
Like including Rashid Taha, including Steve Hillage and his missus.
Steve, I don't even know who that is. Steve Hillage.
Steve Hillage. He's had a band in the 70s and 80s called Gong. These guys are quite famous. And he's the producer for Rashid Taha, by the way.
Okay.
He's the one who produced Tia Raya. He's the one who produced Un, Deux, Trois Soleil show.
Okay.
That was
a big show.
He's the one who produced it.
Damn, that's...
he's the one behind it.
Camera? Where's my camera, guys?
I feel there's a lot of airbrushing in the photo.
Oh, yeah. I'll come and tell you about that photo. That photo was shot by a...
That's kind of like that's a banging...
Oh, this is Jamie Hewlett's collage.
Is that a better rank? Is that a better one? Camera 2?
Nah.
No?
Go back to camera 1,
there
please.
You go.
I'll get out of the way.
But this is a shot of a place called in Agadir, in the region of what is it? It's a very famous place that people visit. But I put it as a background, and I put on it a collage of a painting that was done by Jamie Hewlett.
What's all that about? Is that a painting as well?
But this is the front. This is the front cover. This picture was taken by some guy called Kay Wallig. He's a photographer. He does a lot of models and a lot of celebrities. But that photo was black and white originally, and he colorized it. Actually, it's a colorized photo.
See, he used. But
Halalwood is the album, and I've taken the Hollywood hill.
I made it halal,
and I just turned the letters into Halalwood. Yeah.
Did you have to get planning permission from the local California?
Yeah, from what's his name? Steven Spielberg.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Steven Schwarzenegger.
He wants to change it to halal. I can't even do it. It doesn't even sound.
Yeah,
like
I had the permission to change it to halal.
So which one of the albums did you take on tour then? So when you after you've recorded this album now, you've got it out on.
Oh, this
CD.
was not easy to release, by the way. This look who's on it. Look, let me just read a couple of names. Steve Hillage, we mentioned that. Uddamak is Natasha Atlas. Stick is Damon Albarn. Hamdulillah is UK Apache.
Damon Albarn's from Blur, by the way.
Rashid Taha. And Justin Adams. And Amina and Nabi. These are like all famous.
So look, just to
to
kind of give you guys an understanding, this guy here came from playing in L'Eresa, and travelled all the way to the States to
New York
to do more takarabaqas. وصل إنجلترا. MashaAllah, look at the stuff that he's pulling off. Like,
it's quality.
For you guys out there that don't know, there's some serious artists. You understand? These are some serious individuals that this guy's
This is the same photo he used for his dating profiles as well.
This is actually my photo on Instagram.
Ladies.
Yeah.
So you can find.
But you know, guess what?
What is your Instagram? Just while you've mentioned it, let's see, just quickly, while you mentioned it, what's your Instagram?
U-Cef Nights with Knight.
Yeah, don't worry, guys.
This was a 45 record by Farid Atrash.
Wow.
And this photo, this cover was given to me by Hassan Hajjaj. Allah yajazih bikhair, because he's
big up Hass.
He's also here. This is a photo taken by him. He's done the photo shoots.
Can we get camera one?
Yeah. That's photo by Hassan Hajjaj. And that's his t-shirt as well.
I remember that t-shirt.
Of course, with the fez hat. And this was like instead of me, there was Farid Atrash, a famous Egyptian singer, but we just replaced it with him.
That's right.
And I got to show you the CD itself, because look at the design in here. Look at the design.
So for you kids out there back in the day,
they don't know what. What's that little frisbee?
No, this is
a frisbee.
Normally, if you know Moroccan records or Arabic records, they would have this sticker in the 33 place. In the middle. This is what they look like this. And we have the booklet full of Hassan Hajjaj
artwork and
some of the artwork there.
Yeah, we're trying to get Hassan on the show, man. So if you can hear us, Hassan, and you watch this,
shame on you. He's mad busy, skid. I've been chatting to him. He's like, bruv, I'm
Hassan.
So yeah,
look, he's here. You need to come as well.
Inshallah. Big up Hassan Hajjaj. Big up, man.
Big up, Hass.
Yes.
Go on, Moulay Youssef, come in.
But this record, I mean, with all these people on it,
you need to put everything back now.
Yeah, and I put it.
You made a mess, tidy up.
But no. I mean, honestly, the record, this record, I thought it would be an easy release because of the names on it, collaboration with me.
Yeah.
And it was not easy. It took me like 3 years to release, honestly.
How come?
Well, I don't know.
Clearances.
Well, there you go. It's a good point. You mentioned that because the record industry was kind of shrinking. The industry was closing down on releasing album CDs. Everybody moved to digital
it was about that time, innit?
So that's the problem. And I was quite upset. Not only me, a lot of musicians that make records and they hope to make a living off that, you know. It's the industry, it's digital world develop, quickly, and everybody starts to go like CDs. Nobody wants to sign up a CD because nobody buys CDs no more. People start to go to iTunes. At the time,
MP3s. It was like an MP3.
Well. I remember Napster. Remember Napster? Like just downloads for free.
Yeah. So it was not an easy. MySpace started. So a lot of people. In fact, I had my music on MySpace for a while, and
that's old school.
I made demos and. Well, mind you, MySpace was really good.
No, it was big at the time, yeah.
It was a good website for musicians.
Yeah.
No, I don't know any, except YouTube.
I think that's what, like, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, they're the main...
Well, now they are. They all are now. They're like, which one is the musicians?
Nah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think there's anything for...
There you go. That's what I mean. There's no network that is for the musicians.
But there's no network for anyone else specifically neither.
Yeah. You find the cooking, food as well.
Everything. How to fix your car.
Foda network.
Wallah. How to tile, how to do everything.
So when did you take this thing on tour, bro? Because that's what I want to get into. So...
No, I was touring Halalwood. Halalwood before this one.
Is that when you met with Rap?
I've done a big tour in Spain. I've done most of the gigs I've done was for the other album.
Right, so
I've done less gigs with this one.
Well, that's what I want to get into now. So when did you start doing that? You start doing the tours and start doing all these big festivals and
getting a lot of bookings, man.
Yeah. So how did you meet up with Raf and Sweetman? And inshallah, out there, we're going to be doing another interview with Youssef with Raf and Sweetman as well.
Rafik Bou'nani. Yes, my brother.
AKA Donkera.
And Sweetman, Richard.
And AKA
Rich. I'm rich, bitch.
So inshallah, we'll be getting them boys in there. That'll be quite a fiery and exciting show. That'll be quite good. Yeah. Inshallah. So let's get into that. When did you bump into them two, and how did you end up taking them on tour without going to the ins and outs because we want to save that for the other show?
No, because I used to come to Goldbone Road and Portobello and see the Moroccans, so I got to know some Moroccans, obviously. Maghrebi, كان أهضر مع المغاربة وصافي. And I, at the time, you know, the first guy who see me playing, who walked past my Chipping and Muse, hear me playing music, guess who? It was Day.
Okay.
He walks right Chipping and Muse, and I'm playing, and he knows I'm Moroccan. I see him, he's Moroccan. لبس جلابه I don't know, but he looks Moroccan. And he knew I'm Moroccan, so هضرت معاه بعربية هذه and he saw my studio. That's the first guy who saw my studio in Chipping and Muse.
Big up Day.
Then I started going to his place when he was down the basement. He was down Kamal's place, the Turkish place.
His old place. Yeah.
So I used to go there, see him.
That's
and
right.
Guess what? One night's in there.
That's right, bro. That's where we all met, innit?
One night's in there. Guess what? They done a party. And there was Ziggy and Rafiq.
Let's not mention too many names, though. Yeah, go on.
No, there was
that's cool.
Rafiq was there.
Yeah.
He was DJing. And the turntable's on the pool table. And he was DJing drum and bass jungle. He was like jungle. Really
and that was your introduction to rap.
I'm like, rah.
Don Killer, DJ Don Killer.
I knew about jungle, but I wanted to, it was for me, I wanted to have a Moroccan guy.
Yeah.
Who's on, and he called himself Don Killer. And I was really happy to see him because I had gigs coming and I needed a DJ.
A DJ that works out
and I had
perfectly.
some in drum and bass already, so I wanted someone
that can cover that section of the tour.
Exactly. So that was rough, and I also said to him, I need to get an MC, and he introduced me to Sweet Man, and we started going. And in fact, one of the best tour we did was through Spain. We played like some 12 to 14 gigs in Spain.
Wow.
And we go to Spain with 3 other bands, and they were like, we were opening because we were not like as known as they are.
Established, yeah.
So we were opening.
But you got your
but
guys.
No, but hang on, we played. We owned the party, man. We owned the gig. Yeah. And playing the sets I played was mainly based on drum and bass. Arabiya drum and bass. Can be the first track called Morish Matador, and it builds up.
Have you got?
Yeah, the Mosaic one, the Halalwood, the first album.
What track is it?
The first track on the first one called
Morish Matador.
The Morish Matador, and I call it Morish Matador, a tribute to Moroccan's Harraga. Tribute to Shah Moroccan.
Big up you, man.
Yeah, to Harraga out there. Yeah, because a lot of them went through the boats to Spain and all that. And also our culture as Moroccans in Andalusia.
Yeah.
You
can't separate it.
Yeah, so you know.
Who's on this track? Sweetman and Rap, yeah?
No. This was me, another guy called Ilan, and another guy called Abraham.
You got anything with Sweetman and Rap?
No, this was track when we play live. Then Sweetman is MCing and Raf is DJing some jungle beats on top of this. So that's how we, my live gig was not just playing my tunes as they are.
So it was more like Raf playing the set and you're complimenting his by playing the
So I select tunes that he's got, his records from what he's got, and I bought other records that I like Ronnie Size records, many other records that we mix. And we practice, so Raf has to be practicing with us as well. So that's what we used to play. So this at the time when I'm playing this set, I play percussion, congas, timbales, and Richard is on the mic, and we used to have a guitarist, trumpet player guy. So this is how it was. It was like semi-DJ, semi-live.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, the first nights we played the first band. The second night we were the headline. We were playing.
Where was the concert that Salah went to?
Kaza.
Oh, that's Kaza. That's a full band. He actually saw me playing with the full band. Like, I don't know how many people.
So this is the time where we on one of the shows that Salah mentioned it. And this is the show that
that's where I met Raf.
We met on the plane. He said. I completely.
What it was, the story of that. I was going Morocco that summer, and I fly to Kaza, innit, because I'm Kazawi. I went to the travel agent. Back in it, travel agent is a place where you go to all the young. Like, what was the travel agent? So I was like, how much is the first class? They was like, they don't do first class, they do business class. How much is a business class flight? And she said £742 or something. Which back in the day was earlier. And I was like, 700. I was like, yeah, I'll have a normal.
I was going to say.
You know the chair next to the toilet, so it's mad cheap. I'll have that one, please. So anyway, I went to check in at the airport, and they was like, yeah, you're going to be, I looked, I was like, sorry, what's this 23E? They was like, yeah, you're going to be in row 23 CE. I was like, no. I haven't paid £742 to be in economy.
Wait, you blagged it?
Yeah, I blagged it.
Allegedly.
Supervisor come, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, I got a business class
What
ticket.
airline was it?
Royal Morocco. الله يسمح لي سمحوا لي long time ago I was young dumb ما تسمحوش لي للزعمية كل حب للزعمية كل حب.
No, big up Royal Morocco, man.
No, big them up, but yeah. So long story short, there's like, look, don't worry, we're gonna put you in business class. Cool. Got on the plane. Who do I see? I bumped into you. I was like, "Rah, what you say?" Because I knew him. I met him through Hassan Hajjaj as well. Yeah. Because Hassan's shop was in Camden. Yeah. Yimma. I'm from Camden.
Yes.
And big up Hassan. Big up Hassan. It's so important in the Wallah. Yeah. And so I was chatting to you. I was like, "Rah, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm doing a concert." I was like, "Oh, what are you doing at Kaza?" I was like, "When?" I think it was like tomorrow night or the night after. And I was like, "Oh, where are you doing?" And
we played the Plaza Diyal Kaza.
Yeah, like a big square, almost
where the fountain is when people give الحمام الماكلة.
It's like Trafalgar Square.
Trafalgar Square.
So it's a big open thing.
With my live band.
Yeah.
Drummer, bass player, guitarist, Gnawi, DJ. I'm on percussions and vocals. Like there's 2 rappers from Kaza. They were famous in Kaza. So these guys actually, because they were playing with, in my band. We had a big attraction as well because they're famous at the time.
They were doing their stuff.
They were the famous guys in rap. There was no big.
What were they called?
They were called Kaza Gnawa. عبد الغني منجال النعيم غينيا. نعيم ماشي غينيا بونا نعيم بونا.
تحية
الدراري كازا غناوا. هادو الجوج هادو. These guys, man, they were so talented. They're incredibly talented. They used to act with Hanan Fadeli. If you know who Hanan Fadeli is, big up Hanan Fadeli والفamily ديال Hanan Fadeli. No, she's a comedian. She's like
that's the other one.
Hanan Fadeli. She's one of the funniest comedian in Morocco. Look her up.
She's the one.
She does all these.
Dressed up as the guy.
Actually, she did the best impression of Michael Jackson I've ever seen. Honestly, wallah, if you see it, Hanan Fadeli, Michael Jackson. Hanan Fadeli, Michael Jackson. I'm telling you, it is the funniest ever. Come on, put a little clip of that, man. She's so good. She really knows. You see, man.
It's gonna get us a YouTube strike for copyright?
I can't believe. No, it's not. But
but that concert in Kaza was massive. It was absolutely huge.
But those two guys, I've got to say, those 2 guys are so talented. In many ways,
See, I remember them briefly. I don't remember them what they look like or anything.
Two black dudes, black Moroccans.
I'm trying to remember.
And now they live in France. They've been living in France for some times now.
جاتو تتفقن
Vive la France.
وكان من خلال هذا العرض هذا كان غادي يقول بسلامة
I think I know this lady. Yeah,
that's Hanan Fadeli.
Yeah, like an impressionist.
She's playing the 2 roles. She's playing the presenter and Michael Jackson.
من محتوى ما كاين حتى شي بيناتهم. إنما هو بما يسمى بالسوزي ديال مايكل. من نهار سمع وفاة
When he grows his hair.
ما بقى لا ياكل لا يشرب لا ينعس. الأم ديالو خلعات عليه بزاف. الله يسمحنا من حق الوالدين وطلباتنا باش نستدعيوه في هذه فقرة حوار على موقع سايت الأخ. مساء الخير ومرحبا بك في فقرة حوار.
Anyway, there you go. Look at that, man. If that is not the best.
I remember seeing this lady.
Listen.
عزيني في الحبيب مايكل جاكسون. Please. بركة في راسك اخويا مجيت مايكل. بركة في راسك. ما مشى معاك باك. ما مشى معاك باك.
So anyway, this girl, she used to have these guys playing in her gig as like rappers, as like hip hop boys and all that. Yeah. So she does a lot of these acts and sketches.
I briefly remember her. Yeah.
She's the best. Anyway, so these 2 guys are with us. There's Sweet Man, and there's also Abdelkader Harir and Mohammed Shamma. These 2 guys are locals. They're from Al-Araish.
Yeah.
And they come from the school of Melhoun music and Ana music. So I had them in my band playing with me. And also there was a bass player called Bouzid. Yes, Bouzid, bass player from France, Algerian French. It was pretty good. And Ilan Polushko, this one goes for you, brother. Big up. Ilan Polushko now lives in LA, and he was my good friend, and he did quite a few tunes. In fact, he played the guitar on that Moorish Matador song that you heard.
Okay.
And he played in a lot of my songs. You see his name in the records in maybe 6 songs in there. Anyway, so all these guys were there present. Also, we had Roshdi, Hanan's brother, who was a DJ, famous DJ as well in Morocco. All these guys, Rafiq and Sweet Man, you know, I mentioned all of them. And Sis, the girl, Sitzel, the girl who played the drums.
Oh, yeah,
the one you mentioned.
Scandinavian or something.
She's from Denmark, but yeah, big up Sissel if you get to see this video. But yeah, this was the live band. And there was thousands of people there. We had a really great show.
It was mad. Well, I turned up. I was like, I was baffled, bruv.
Yeah,
I'd never seen, I never thought Maghrebi would
and at the time, it was fresh. It was I think this was 2002. You know, I mean, it was fresh. There was very few things like that were happening in Morocco.
Very rare.
So now, what you up to now? What music wise and like what you doing with yourself now?
At the moment,
are you doing the music? You taking it serious now? Are you more like?
Well, it's not that taking it seriously. It's not about the motivation or ideas. It's about the music industry is really been diminished to points where whatever you do now has to be a single song, like a really good song, and you need to do a good video for it and get a big PR, big push online to push it, to see some money or to see some kind of reaction to it that can keep you in the music. So it's not really that simple, but you know, to be honest with you, recently I've done a remix for someone who's quite famous, an actress called Elizabeth McGovern. Maybe the producer can look her up online. She's a famous actress. She's in her 70s now. She played a lot of movies. She's in The Abbey. There's a series called The Abbey, you know?
Yeah.
So she's in it.
Like that period drama thing.
I don't watch that, but you know, she's in it. And a friend who's I played with in his band, well, not his band, it was this woman called, what's her name? We played in this in this tour with this guy. And he saw what I do, and we stayed in touch. So he's the producer who produced her song. So he had me doing a remix for her because he wants me to add some Arabic stuff to the song that he's done with her.
Bit of flavor.
So that's the latest thing I did. The song, I don't know if he's going to release it anytime soon, but surely they went crazy for it. And in fact, he's flying from America to London this week. I'm going to see him. Big up Ted Mason. This one goes for you, brother. Ted Mason, yes, my brother. So he's going to see this as well.
I'm Teddy.
Yeah, he's on Facebook, so I'm sure he's going to see.
You managed to find anything, bro?
Elizabeth McGovern.
She used to be in Greece.
I don't know. She's
the country?
She's in the Abbey. She's in the series called The Abbey.
Is she American or English?
She's American. Yeah.
Is it the one from Greece?
No, she's not from. No, she's not the girl from Greece that played with John Travolta. No,
not the blonde one. Not that.
No,
Olivia Newton-John.
She didn't play in Greece.
Nah, that one. She's.
Go on, let's have a look.
Elizabeth McGovern. Actually, she played in. That's.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's in the Abbey. That's her. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, she's quite a big actress actually.
Oh, she's super famous. You know.
Yeah, she's major. Okay, that's quite some big work, mashallah, man. Yeah. I know you do a lot of community work, and I know you teach a lot of the kids in the area.
Exactly, that's what my music input.
Your music here. So just give us a little insight into the kind of community work that you do as well, Moulay Youssef, because
I started helping young people, including Raf. Raf is one of them, and Richard. You know, I wanted to help them getting into the music rather than other things that you know the influences in the area huge on people's future. So I was hoping that they get into the music more, him and Richard. In fact, Richard's still doing some art stuff. Raf is not have that ability, you know, but I mean, surely to me,
he does have a little mix now and again. He goes into that radio show.
I know. I mean, it's good that he can DJ even with not being able to see. You know, he can still DJ. And anyway, so talking about helping or working with young people or getting them to do something interesting that they might find, you know, a good way for them to, you know, develop later. So I started approaching even Moroccans and other people on the streets. In fact, if you know the producer's brother,
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of his mates.
Yeah. They used to rap as well. Yeah.
The only one I'm gonna mention, his name is Hisham, who's mental now. Poor guy. You see him coming to a Porto.
Yeah, Allah Shafi.
Yeah, Allah Shafi. ولكن these young guys, they were on the street and another one. I'm not gonna mention his name, but anyway, I got him to come to my studio and do some rap, some of their own songs. So I've done some beats for them, and they liked it. And I've recorded their vocals, their ad libs, their choruses, whatever. This and that.
Yeah, bring it. We'll play it next week.
like at least 5 or 6 songs that I've recorded for them over a period of few days. So can I see this? So it's just to help them, to get them off the streets in one hand and help them.
You still do that now?
Yeah, still do that now.
Whereabouts where'd you work?
Well, no, I mean, I've got to say this because beside what I did before, independently, and I used to get funding even for that. I would apply for funding to get that. Since Grenfell happened, I approached since that happened, I approached few community centers locally to see if I can volunteer any help. It was not even musical, but I knew in some of these places they had studio equipment, music equipment. But then I approached Harrow Club and Michael Defoe. Big up, Michael.
Big up, Defoe.
I used to work with, I spoke to him and he was cool. He was keen to give me some volunteer positions to do, help him with other things. At the time, we were like taking a lot of food stuff, cans, whatever, water, and taking from place to place, giving to people. And then we enjoyed each other's, relation. And I said to him, listen, I'm looking for work. I do music. This is what I do. And, at the time they had a small studio there, and it was run by someone else. A cool guy called Mark, a really talented guy as well, bass player, and that was it. So I started doing all kind of works until they had to open another room with music equipment. So I started, before that happened, we had the drums because I played drums. So we bought an electronic drums, and I started teaching juniors drums how to play just a normal beat like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and that was really interesting for young people. Teenage, I'm talking about juniors, like between the age of 8 to 12. So that was really good. And also when we opened the second place studio, I started doing the Logic Audio, teaching kids how to build beats, how to record. But most of them, they just want to spit bars. They don't want to build beats. They just download again
from YouTube, innit?
Beats are so available now. This is what we talk. I gotta say this. The day I got Sony Ericsson, that had loops in it, I knew that's it. That was a wrap. It's the end.
So is there anywhere where we can find you now? You still doing that work now? Is there anywhere where these people can find you if they need to get in contact with you? Because I know you do tuition as well. You teach people you do your own private work and stuff.
Well, yeah, teaching music, teaching Logic, and doing remixes, and like if there is some interesting gig I would do. But people call you these days to do DJ, and it's like 150, 100 pounds, 200. And by the time you get home, let's say a 3-4 hour DJing, and you get home like 3-4 in the morning, it costs you £40 a taxi. I'm getting older too, so
can't stay awake for the sets.
No, it's a long session, man. 3-4 hour DJ, man. It's a long session. You wear off, man. But anyway, obviously the ideas are always there. Speaking of creativity, that's one thing that is getting shorter because things are so easy to make now. You can build the beats. You don't have to build it. It's already there.
There's AI there, but man.
There's AI. There's all kind of things. So it's really. it's a killer. To be honest with you, this progress in technology is a killer. It kills the creative points. You can maybe use digital stuff or technology to create stuff, but then what's the point? It doesn't feel like it's your own thing.
Well, I need you to come down and check out our place, the Kids on the Green, inshallah. So
inshallah, definitely,
see the work that the kids are doing down there.
I've seen what you showed me already. It's quite impressive. That looks like a production station.
Yeah, no, it's proper. It's proper.
It's not for kids, though. It's professional.
Yeah, no, it is for the kids. Believe it or not,
you can do some session late nights,
No, well, I believe it or not, all of that stuff.
He's got the keys.
No, all of that stuff is there for the kids. We do a lot. But listen, man, let the people know where we can find you, and if they need to get in contact with your socials, as you said.
Well, you know,
we're going to run it across the bottom anyways. You know what I'm saying? Where they can find your videos as well.
You can find me on. My music is on YouTube, on Spotify, all digital platforms. You find Halalwood album, U-Cef, U-Cef.
Make sure you guys check it out, inshallah.
And I'm on all digital platforms. But I also did a couple of Gnawa albums, traditional Gnawa albums.
Okay.
The first one that is so popular now, and the reason why I did it traditionally in 2011, there was very little traditional Gnawa music well recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it you find as fusion.
Mm-hmm.
And
not in its raw form.
What you find in raw form, it was on YouTube and it was recorded with a phone. So you don't get. So I decided to do a record, and I called it Gnawa or Never.
Wicked. And they can find out what
you can find it anywhere.
on your Spotify.
That is my release. That is my release. I released it, and it's with this guy called Saïd Damer. He's a well-known Gnawi from Maghrebi. His nickname is Sarout. They call him Sarout because he could not say Sarout, so he said Sarout when he was little. So everyone knows him as Saïd Sarout. Saïd Sarout.
So yeah, so check that out. You can check that out on his Spotify and his YouTube, inshallah.
مع سعيد كويو ومع حسن قديري and another album with عبد الحق بدرة هذا الله يرحمه. and كنبعث لكم سلام الحر ديالي من هنايا ان شاء الله تشوفوا هذا الفيديو ان شاء الله.
Yalla Khuti, thank you very much, Moulay Youssef, man.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And we look forward to the next episode of this one. We've got Richard and we've got Raf as well here,
inshallah.
And yeah, I look forward to that. And you guys out there look forward to that as well. You can catch us on, you can catch me on Hard Work Not Hard Work. Yeah. You can also find me on Instagram on the Marocafella.
Yes,
we'll put all the information down there as well. Khay Salah.
Yeah, I've got no social medias, but yeah. Message us on, what was it, Marocafella.com.
Big up Marocafella, yeah.
Big up Marocafella.
Yes, that's it. Word, man.
Listen, and I want to big up the NIA project as well. I want to big up Kids on the Green, and I want to pick up all the other organisations that are out there helping the community out there, all the charities and whatnot.
Definitely.
Before we go, we want to give Youssef, our guest, some presents and
slight gift.
Just to say thank you.
Thank you so
and
much.
the appreciation.
I love the brand, by the way. I love the brand, man. I gotta pick up. I gotta big up the designer, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This is really great.
So enjoy that, أخي إن شاء الله.
I love the design, man. المغرب.
عندك تحلو رخاوي يا زين.
We can do the remix version.
I love it, man.
Listen, تحياتي to all my people out there, to all our Marocafella fans.
Pop.
Ramadan Kareem. صحة سحر جيلكم.
وصحة فطور عمي مبروك العيد.
Because my camera's gone, so I'm on that camera there.
مبروك العيد. Check
us out. All the information is going to be running across. Love you guys. Assalamu alaikum. Take care.
Yes.